Some call it fate, others just say it's the universe's way of keeping score. But if there's one thing for certain, karma always finds a way. Welcome back to Karma's a Mitch. I think we're all the way up to episode 5 today. Not 100% sure what exactly we're going to talk about, but there's a handful of things, as always, as well as my personal experiences in life. It's finally cooler. It's like the one day for a while that I'm not like crazy sweating, so that's always nice. When I wake up at like 4:30 in the morning and it's 25 degrees out, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So I'm really glad it's not like that anymore. I would rather it be warm than like freezing cold, cuz you can do things when it's warm, you drink a lot of water, you can cool off, take off the shirt, go for it. I don't swim. Okay. So we got the pool filled, and I mean, I've never, in the years that we've had a pool, I have very rarely gone in it. I don't know what it is. I'm just not a big swimmer. I've just never. I mean, we have a pond. Like, if I'm gonna go get wet and do something and have some fun, I'm gonna go get dirty and do it. Like, why do I need to? Like, why bother with the pool? Really, in my opinion. And like, you have to get like good potable water delivered, and because we tried using the well water once and it went very poorly. So it's got all the sulfur and all the minerals. It's groundwater. Like, we don't filter it or anything, we just give it to the animals, and every now and again it'll leave like a black, I guess, sludge, I think is the best word to describe it, in like the bottom of their water troughs. So then you have to like clean it out, and it's nothing wrong. Like, it's all natural, but it doesn't look the most appetizing. But when they will literally drink from puddles coming from the manure pit, when there's perfectly clean water fully accessible for them, I don't think they care too much. So I don't think that's much to be discussed on the animal side of things. So like, the water's fine. You just probably shouldn't drink it because there's all this stuff in it, and all that sort of thing. Probably don't drink it. Like, you know, it's just the stuff that we give the animals, and it also is really bad for pools because you have to filter it all, right? So the pool filter that goes in the pump and all that, just crazy gunk in it. All that sludge, the sulfur and the minerals and all that sort of stuff. And it basically ruined the pool. So how these, like, because we don't have like an in-ground pool. We have to fill it up every year. I've heard people keep them out, but like, why bother at that point? You have to like, so we had this like inflatable ring pool where you inflate this ring on it, and then you put water in it, and since it's basically like an inner tube, it rises and it brings up the sides of the pool. So it's basically just like a big bladder, and it is very precarious. I mean, I never really liked it. I never liked any of it because it's just kind of like a glorified puddle, like any of it. It only comes up to like your waist. The one we have now is the biggest one we've had, but again, I'm not a big swimmer. Like, I don't like all that sort of stuff. I don't even know if I have like swim trunks around. Like, I don't know the last time I would have used them. So I just never really go in it. And everyone always asks, "Oh, are you gonna go for a swim?" No, I don't like to. I have not. I would rather not. So that's my take on the whole swimming. Like, even when I worked down like on the lake doing the concrete stuff, like, I would go in. If I wouldn't even wear shorts to do that. Like, I was always wearing jeans. I'd take off my shirt, but like, since we were working basically on concrete, on rebar, on all this stuff, you had to wear like full pants. Now, the neighbor I worked with, he didn't. He wore shorts. So like, wading out into the lake, I wouldn't do that either, because then my pants are wet and that sucks. So I wouldn't even do that. Like, it's not that I'm like afraid of the water. I can swim. I just do not like to. It's not my favorite activity. And yeah, so that's another reason. Like, I don't. Yes, I complain. You're listening to me. This is what you've signed up for. You listen to me complain about things. It's how this works. But I don't complain about the heat because there's things you can do about it. You're not going to jump in a pool because it's cold outside. Like, even like a hot tub or something. Like, you don't do that because it's cold out. Because when you get out, it's even colder. So there's much less you can do about the cold. And that's why I complain about the cold more. And that's why I would rather say I'm hot than be cold. So that's my kind of take on it. And I'm not like anti any of that. I'm not saying like, oh, never, never, never. But like, I just feel like there's a better use of my time than just sit in water and do nothing. Because like, it's not even like when we were in Dundas, yes, I'd swim there because it was a big pool. Like, you had an opportunity. Like, it was maybe 8 feet. I think that's how deep pools are. How deep are like normal residential? Like, I've never seen like an in-ground pool for a long time. It's all like the above grounds that like just sit and don't go above like 4.5 feet because it's a lot of water. So having the in grounds are so much better. Like, they're longer, they're deeper. Like, you can actually like give it a good swim in them, and that's why again I'd rather go swimming in a lake. Or our pond isn't deep. It's like knee high in most places, maybe up to your neck at like the deeper places that was dug out. I don't even know how, because that was a long time ago, so I don't even know if that's still that deep or if everything's kind of settled. But there's also like snapping turtles in it and like other things, so not the best place to be. But like, hey, you just don't get caught. Wear shorts because it looks like a snake. So where was I? I was talking about pools. Yeah, so the in-ground pools are a lot better. I don't like above-ground pools, just like as a catch-all, I think. I think that one covers it, is no above-ground pools. It's like cats. Like, when people get like a small dog, I say, why bother? If you're going to get a small dog, just get a cat. I'm not against dogs. I'm against small dogs. And that's my thing. Like, if you're going to get a big dog, yeah, get a big dog. You're not going to get like a mountain lion. That would be stupid. Get a dog. But if you're going to get a little yappy thing that just like you want to like sit around and cuddle and bring around in your purse, that is like perfect cat. And even better, if you know someone and you don't like them and they're allergic to cats, they won't come around you like at all because there's cat fur, and you're really like, oh, there's cats. There's cat fur. You can't come around me. You're going to get all sneezy, and they'll be like, yeah, I probably shouldn't bother you anymore, and then you don't have to see them. And it's perfect. I've never had to do that. I liked cats forever. But, so now we have like 1 billion. And while, yes, I do still love cats, there's an upper limit. Like, there is too many cats. There's one just in the box over off to my right. And she's pregnant and also physically disabled because she was attacked by a dog. And everyone keeps saying, oh, she's going to have wonky babies. Like, no, that's not a genetic like problem she has. She was attacked by a dog, and the dog ain't around anymore, so we don't have to worry about it. The dog hasn't attacked cats in a long time because she's been dead. Can you tell it was a small dog? Oh, that one was bad. I didn't do it. I didn't do it to that one. That one. Oh my goodness. But like I wear Hawaiian shirts and stuff because it's hot and I have the ability to unbutton and to take off and all that sort of stuff. That's something I picked up working down on the lake. He would always wear shorts. He would always wear running shoes. I could never wear running shoes on like a work site. I always had work boots on. It doesn't matter what I did. Doesn't matter where I went. We were down on the beach. Nope, work boots. And jeans. Full jeans as well. Every now and again, like, they'd get rips in them, and I'd just continue to wear them because they're work jeans. I don't have to be pretty. I just have to be half safe, you know? There was a couple times. So he would always get the cheapest grinder blades ever. Like, cheapest cutoff wheels. And not only would they just explode anyway, because they're the cheapest cutoff wheels you can get, but also we would use them to like smooth out the sides of the rebar, because when you cut it, it's kind of sharp around and you don't want to cut yourself on it. I was doing all that and I hadn't had a tetanus shot in years. I'm just thinking about that now. When I went to get the stitches out of my eye, they're like, hey, when's the last time you got a tetanus shot? And I'm like, I don't know. Do you guys track that? And they're like, yeah, it says you had one at like 4 years old. And I said, cool, then it's probably when I was 4 years old. And they're like, you're supposed to have that like every 10 years. You're supposed to have it at like 14. And I said, I don't know. I'm 20. Might as well do it now. I'll get it when I'm 30. So then they gave me a tetanus shot. And that was well after I'd been working with rebar, where I can easily say I've cut myself more than once on the... Why is rebar always rusted? Like, he would go and get new rebar, and it would be rusty. Like, is that just like a thing with rebar? I don't know. So yeah, we'd be cutting this rebar and we'd be like smoothing it off with the same wheels that we'd use to cut things. So you'd cut a bar, and then you'd smooth it off, because as soon as you walk away from something, you're not going to do it. And as soon as you don't smooth something out, you're going to back up into it no matter where it is. So we'd always cut it off, smooth it out, and then move on to the next one. Well, smoothing it out has just like really... The cutoff wheels aren't thick regardless, but they've shaved it down even more. So now it's just like a bomb waiting to explode. I have a lot of pictures of cutoff wheels that have exploded, and all I'd wear is, again, the Hawaiian shirt and my sunglasses instead of eye protection, because they're also, one, they're tinted, and two, they're prescription. People hate it when I say I wear prescription sunglasses, because I very strongly insinuate that the tint is prescription, when it's really just the lenses themselves have a bend to them, so they're just like distance glasses. That's what it is. I do, however, tell whatever professor or teacher I have, hey, either I wear the sunglasses or I don't see you. You may absolutely pick and choose, but I'm not going to pay attention if I don't have the glasses on. They're like, where's your other glasses? I'm like, great news, I didn't bring them. So you have two options, and one of them, I actually learned something. So that's why I would wear the sunglasses all the time, is because I'd wear them all the time out on the beach, because especially with the water coming up, with the water, the sun would bounce off of it. And that's why you're supposed to wear polarized sunglasses if you go out boating or if you go out to the beach. So I'd wear them all the time. And they're not safety rated. Like, never once did I go, I'm safer because I'm wearing these. No, never. I knew I was like skirting danger. It was really funny, because the one time I get injured, it wasn't the sunglasses. It was the normal glasses. So now I'm just going to start telling people if they're mad at me. Because, like, people get mad at me all the time. I would be out in the cruiser, and I'd be out somewheres, and, like, I'd be going to talk to some organizer or something, and I'd be introducing myself. Oh, yeah, I'm Mitch. Here's what I do. It's completely free. I just need to get in, maybe take some pictures, and get some notes for me to do all my stuff. And then they go, take off the glasses when you're talking to me. It's rude. And I go, ma'am, they're prescription. And she goes, no, they're not. And I go, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm trying to be nice to you, and now you're being rude. So I don't know what to really say. So I'm gonna just be nice and maybe comply. Every now and again I'd comply, but it was very rare, and only if I really just needed to do something quickly. I don't even know if that picture's still up, if they have the picture of me without my sunglasses on. So I've just quickly looked that up, and this is new from the last time I've Googled my name, and I don't like it. Let me just read you this headline, because it's a news story. Former Orlando middle school employee indicted on child pornography charges. Can you guess what his name is? That's right, it's Mitchell Regan, spelled the exact same as my name. Fortunately, he doesn't look anything like me, but that is pretty not good. Let's just read. Orlando, Florida, a grand jury has indicted a former Orlando middle school employee on charges of possessing child pornography, according to court documents filed Wednesday. Now, this was posted, I think, October 31st, 2024. So, almost a year ago now. Knowingly possesses an image of child pornography that is a visual depiction of a minor engaging in sexually explicit conduct. The documents state the depiction involved a prepubescent minor and a minor who had not attained 12 years of age. The former employee, 36-year-old Mitchell Regan, had easy access to children through his employment. The Boys and Girls Club of Central Florida confirmed Regan worked for the organization and was jointly employed at the Hunters Creek Middle School as part of the after-school zone program. Now that Regan has been formally charged, residents that we talked to near this area of Hunter Creek Middle School say they're a little uneasy about sending their kids back to school here, but are grateful he's no longer employed. My kids are about to go to school, I'm 32 years old. It's a new generation of parents leaving kids in the school. It makes me feel anxiety of how things are going to be in the future, says Carlos Arujo, a resident. Homeland Security investigators searched Regan's home on October 17th after receiving a cyber tip. They found an image of his phone of females engaged in sexual activity with an adult male inside of a vehicle. If convicted, Regan faces a maximum penalty of 20 years in prison. He is currently in a Marion County jail, held without bond. Wonderful. Great. Exactly what I want to look up when I search up my name. Exactly what I want to see. This is great. Thank you so much. They have like a 20-minute press conference on here as well. Well, do you know what he deserves? The wood chipper. I mean, he didn't. I don't think he actually did anything. So I don't know if he's like wood chipper level yet. But like, make him watch. Make him watch and do it. Watch all the other pedos get put in the wood chipper. Well, that's wonderful. There's also a villain named Mitch Regan. Villains Wiki. It's on, oh my goodness, which one is it? Is it Law and Order? Yeah, Law and Order villain. So a great thing that I'm associated with is Mitch Regan, an evildoer in Law and Order episode Teenage Wasteland. He's a psychopathic teenager who beats a Chinese food delivery man to death for fun. Wonderful, thank you. What episode, like what? Yeah, Origin Law and Order. What actual episode? Ultimately, the jury sentences Regan to death. Lewin sadly remarks that the state will probably get to execute Regan before his 21st birthday. Sadly remarks? He beat a dude to death. For fun. That's screwed up. Goals. Kill a delivery man for fun. Succeeded. Get away with it. Failed. Alright, that's funny. I should look that one up. I wonder if they pronounce it the same way. Because everyone, for some reason, thinks it's Reagan. And it's not. But that's a wonderful thing to look up when I search up my name. Awesome. Wow, thank you. Oh, we were just talking about the sunglasses. And before that, being hot. So I like to go on tangents. So, wonderful. So now I was curious, and I went back and I watched. I mean, I'm only halfway through the almost 9-minute video. It was Season 11, Episode 12 of Law & Order. And it was Reagan. It's not even Regan. Or maybe they just say it a million different ways throughout. But they keep saying Reagan. So it's not even Regan. It's spelled the same way. And I also looked up the actor, Alex Feldman. And that was his debut. So he had to debut on Law & Order. It did get a very good rating. But that was his debut as an actor. And even now he's still doing stuff. So, lots of video game voiceovers. Spider-Man 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, Avowed, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and a lot more of those cop shows. NCIS, SWAT, more Law and Order, that sort of stuff. So he's done a lot of things, but like mostly just like a background kind of guy. There's a couple of things but still, it's spelt the same way. If you look it up, that's what comes up. Not even, he comes up like the first couple. I am on the first two, like on the first, I'm on the second row, twice. So, hey. And the podcast thing is up on the second row if you search up Mitch Regan. So, hey, I'll take it. I think if you search up Mitchell, it's, no, yeah, the pedophile comes up first. Actually, just a random woman comes up, Regan Mitchell. She comes up first. I am again on the second row though, so I'm there. The podcast is much lower down though, so you know. Oh well. I don't know who's looking up my name. Hopefully they're not looking for a pedophile. But yeah, so that's what comes up. Again, not what I was talking about in the first place, but now I've spent like 10 minutes on this. So, you know, it's how it goes. What do I want to talk about? All right. It's hot. Many different ways to cool down. I absolutely love ice cream. Oh my goodness. That's my vice. Like, I know everyone's been talking about like the lead in the vapes, which is a real thing. They don't know where it's coming from, whether it's from like the metal parts or whether it's from like the actual liquid because it's being made in like underground, like really poor facilities. Like, don't vape is the best. It is probably the best thing I could tell you to do. I never have. My parents smoke. If you're gonna do anything, I think actually don't quote me on this one, but I'm pretty sure people have said cigarettes are actually better for you than vaping. And like, I don't know why everyone comes up with all this. Why would you take something from not a medical professional that's like brand new on the market and be like, I'm gonna put this in my body? Like, why would you do that? Like, we've had alcohol for years, right? We've had cigarettes forever. We know they're bad for you, and still people smoke. And still people drink. A lot. But then this vaping comes out, and they're like, oh, you know, it's better than cigarettes, right? It doesn't have all the chemicals, but it does have super heavy metals, which are not good for you. Probably even worse, let me be honest. Because do you want to get like lead and mercury and nickel poisoning? No. One of them is going to kill you a lot faster too. And it's not the cigarettes. There are people who smoke all the time and nothing happens to them. But like, this vaping stuff is so new. When did it start coming out? Maybe 2016? When Trump was first elected? What was I, in middle school? So that was when they were like super honking massive. It wasn't until like a handful of years later, maybe grade 8. I don't remember anyone vaping in grade 8. But definitely grade 9 and into grade 10. And then it just became a massive problem because like when I started high school, we still had a smoke pit out front. Like kids would still go out front and smoke, like in plain sight. And then they had to stop it because they were ruining the sign that was out front. So then they moved it over to the corner, and then this law came out where you weren't allowed to vape or smoke within 20 meters of the property. So then they were supposed to move it out even further, but they didn't, because it's Hagersville, and hey, you're not doing it in the bathrooms, so there you go. No, they'd still do it in the bathrooms. They would go out there to smoke their bong, is what they would do. Do you smoke them? I don't know. I don't do the weed stuff either. I drink a little bit, and that's like, and I drink whiskey, so I feel like it's better than like vodka, because I mean I do drink the coolers every now and again as well, but I'd rather drink like a whiskey where you're not like going to drink a lot of it just to get drunk, because it doesn't. I like the taste of it in a way that it's an additive, and it's not, it refines the taste. And I've started drinking Crown Black because it's just a richer taste, and I'm not like, oh, I'm gonna drink a lot of it to get drunk. I'm gonna have a little bit of it with a Pepsi at night because I like the taste of it, and that's it. And I'm gonna have maybe two drinks is like my average, maybe 3, and then I'm gonna stop because the bottle's like not the bottle of Crown, the bottle of Pepsi. I have the like 7/10, so I split it up between 3 drinks. Maybe I only have 1. So that's kind of how it goes with me and alcohol, because people drink beers and they have a handful. They're a lot less alcohol than a whiskey, than a 45% whiskey, which is what Crown is. But they have a whole bunch of them, and I have 2 drinks, and I'm not saying I'm make them weak, but like they're also stretched out over like 3 hours, because again, I'm drinking it because I like it. That's why I don't drink vodka, or I've had tequila. Not a super big fan of tequila. I think I need to try more of it to find one that I like. I haven't had gin ever. Never rum. There's probably more. I've had like some rich scotches and like whiskeys and that sort of thing, and again, I like that taste. I don't know why. I've never had it before, but when I turned 19, my mom got me these like little shot glasses, and I'm like, why would I drink that? Why would I have a shot of something? Like, why wouldn't I mix it into a nice drink? So I think I still have some of them, and it's not that like, I don't know. I feel like shots are more party, more crazy. Like, I'm not gonna do shots if I'm sitting at home watching like a movie or playing a game. Like, that's not a shot time. That's like, sipping on a drink until the ice melts, and then filling it back up. That's how it works. So I don't. What was I talking about? Was I talking about vaping? Oh, ice cream. My vice. Right. That one's a little bit different. That one I have to stop myself, because, driving past you, it's the dairy bar here in Hagersville. Dude, they have the best ice cream. they like the sundae like flavors and all that sort of stuff that makes it like I ice cream is ice cream in my opinion. Like it's not. I have like a tier list of like what is available to me. Is what I'm going to get. Like Hewitt's is at the top. Below that is like the Chapman's and the what any of like the box ice creams like that'll come in the cardboard boxes that you'll get at like the real Canadian Dairy hard ice cream, that sort of thing. And then below that comes like probably the like manufactured ice creams, the like drumsticks and the well, okay. Above that is soft serve. I'm thinking about what I get at home. So you got like Hewitt's, then the like Chapman's and that sort of thing, and then you have the soft serve. If you're out somewhere, I'd always get hard ice cream before I get soft serve, and then it goes into the like manufactured and prepackaged and individually packaged, those sorts of things. And even then, I can break it down even further, like the what are they called? The like, I don't know if they're German, but or like just like Belgium or something like that. I don't know about Swedish. Oh my goodness, now I can't remember. But like the super rich ones with like the hard chocolate and the caramel and the ice cream and that sort of stuff falls above a drumstick. And then would that fall above like a, I think it depends on the ice cream sandwich. If like it's a big one, then like I think I'd take that over a drumstick. Maybe I don't think so. With all the chocolate and the caramel, I think it would fall above a caramel. No, it would fall above a fudge drumstick. I would rather take a caramel one over like a nice ice cream sandwich. Like we just got these like no name ones not too long ago when we did hay, and it's got like chocolate chunks in it, and that was really good. And I think I seen it in the store. I should go get them, because again, that is, if there's one food I should say that I've spent the most money on, it's probably ice cream or ice caps. No, definitely ice cream. Definitely ice cream. So what we would do in grade 12, I'd have a spare in the middle, first period. First period, I'd have a spare. So, Hewitt's opens up at 10 o'clock. Second period starts at 10:20. Quarter to 10, we would all hop in my car, and we'd all drive out to Hewitt's and wait there until they opened. Then we'd all go in. We'd get ice cream and milkshakes at 10 in the morning, mind you. And then we would all rush back to class for our second period, because me and another one of my friends had this really strict English teacher. And he was cool with food and stuff. Like, as long as he didn't leave a mess, then he was fine with it. And I was done my ice cream, like walking into the room. I would just be putting the last piece of the cone in my mouth. And I'd sit down and people were like, what did you get? Where'd you go? And then I'd pull a milkshake out of my pocket and put it up on the desk, and they'd be like, why? And I'm like, because I can, and because I have a problem. The grocery store in town, Foodland, we would walk down there for lunch, and a lot of the time, because who buys the little pints of ice cream, really? Like, who really buys them? I do. But, like, they would be on sale all the time because no one would buy them. So they would always be, like, pretty close to expiry. So they'd be, like, a lot cheaper. You get, like, the Haagen-Dazs. I think I'm saying that right. Whatever, I don't really care. But you'd get that sort of stuff for, like, 25, 30% off. Maybe even up to a half. But still. And then that's when I would eat. And, like, you don't have a spoon. Like, a lot of the time you wouldn't have a spoon. But this was back when they still would let you have plastic spoons. So it would be, like, half decent. And again, it's a country school, so everyone had a knife. So a lot of the time you just, like, cut it up as well. and then eat it that way. And so we'd go and we'd sit back down just around, whether it be in the cafeteria or around the hallways and that sort of thing. I remember I was sitting with a group of girls one day, eating my ice cream in the hallway. And our drama teacher comes up and she goes, "Are you pregnant?" And I'm like, who's she talking to? Like, all the girls that are here? And everyone's looking around really confused as to why she's asking if we're pregnant, if one of us is pregnant. Because she never really specifically said to anyone. She just kind of like looked upon us and was like, "Are you pregnant or something?" And we're like, "What? Who's being shamed here? Who's fat? Like, what's the deal?" And she goes, "No, you have ice cream. Pregnant women have like cravings and stuff. You're eating just like ice cream out of the tub." And I'm like, "'Cause it's a pint tub, and I personally don't have a bowl. I'm in grade 10. I'm surprised I have a spoon, because I would also end up keeping a metal spoon, because it's a lot better for the ice cream than the plastic ones." And then later on they'd switch to wood, and that just completely sucks. But at that time, I don't really think I was around for lunch much. That was a little after COVID. But there's so many stories of me just like walking into somewheres with ice cream, and people would be like, "Why do you have ice cream?" And I'd be like, "Why don't you have ice cream?" And they're like, that's a good take. You know, that's a good question. Why don't I have ice cream? Go ahead. And it just became a thing that I would do. That and, like, just cake. But I'd eat the cake over a period of time as well. It's quite hard to save ice cream, so I couldn't do that. Especially at school when you have 3 hours left and nowheres to put it. I did finally gain access to a fridge in my later years of like the COVID school and stuff. Grade 11 and 12 was when I finally got like late grade 11, early grade 12, when it still didn't have a car. It still wasn't driving. But because that started second semester, grade 12, around there. So that's when I was like, oh, there's a fridge in this room, and I can sweet talk the teacher into letting me in and keeping ice cream there. Sick. All right. And then like Hewitt's has these seconds as well, and seconds is like 2 ice cream flavors from the ice cream counter that are mixed together because there's not enough left, or like maybe it's coming to the like end of its like out there cycle, because you can only have it like kind of soft for so long, right? So they put like 2 halves together, and then you have to go and like play like guess the flavor because they shorthand everything. And I'm like, what is C and C? Like, is it cookies and cream, or is it like these like a crazy combination of something that I don't even want to know? Like, you don't know if it's like blueberry, you don't know if it's oranges, you don't know if it's like something like weird, or is it actually, does it say van for vanilla, or is it like something that I can't even comprehend? And like you can't ask anyone because then they'll just look at you weird. And I'm like, I'm just curious. Like I don't like, I understand that like you're not supposed to be getting these if you have allergies because they have anything in them, right? But like, I don't want to go home with something with peanut butter in it, because peanut butter is the one thing I cannot have. And just like preference wise, I can eat peanut butter. I just probably won't hold it in for long. It's the one I don't remember ever really eating it. For the longest time I can remember, I never liked peanut butter. I just can't stand the smell. Like, and probably the texture and all that sort of stuff. But like, someone made peanut butter cookies for an office like Christmas party, and I didn't know because there was so much happening around, and you can't really tell. And wasn't really paying attention. I didn't ask, so it's not like it's my fault. But I had one bite and I was like, oh, what? Ugh. Ugh. And it's not like I like peanuts. So I don't know what peanut butter has in it that makes me not like it anymore. But I had this like peanut butter cookie, and then they're like, how was it, Mitch? How was it? And it's like a cookie with like a bite out of it on my plate, and I was like, it's got peanut butter in it? And they're like, yeah, there's peanut butter and this, that, and that cookies. And I'm like, I'm sure they're great. I just have this like weird thing for peanut butter, and I don't like it. So it's nothing against you and your cooking, and your cookies. I guess baking it would be. Nothing against you and your baking or your cookies, but like it's just this one thing I didn't know I had because there's so much happening around. I didn't like smell the cookies, sniffing cookies, because I think that's a great idea. I would just like everyone to know I saved you from some horrible ASMR of me just like smelling the microphone. So you're welcome. Trust me, it was bad of me pantomiming smelling cookies. I guess that's not pantomime if I'm like making an awful smelling noise as well. But that I just have a thing against peanut butter, so I can't have it anywheres, or like, because you can get, they have a flavor with like peanut butter, like the chocolate peanut butter cups in it. I think it's called like Moose Trails. It's probably a common flavor, but they also have one called Caribou Trails, and instead of the peanut butter like caramel, or they have caramel caramel. Oh my goodness, caramel like chocolate cups instead of the peanut butter chocolate cups. And that one is one of my favorites that I can actually buy on the shelf. I haven't seen, however, Salty Dog, DAWG, which is probably my favorite from them. Just like the chocolate and the chocolate and caramel ripple, and then like salted caramel in it. I think that one is their best flavor. Never seen it in the actual store. So that's my favorite when I go and it's available. I always get that one. If not, maybe Caribou Trails, maybe like cookies and cream too. That one's not bad. Their cookie dough is good. Like they have so many. Tin Roof is another one of their like sundae flavors, and it has chocolate covered peanuts in it, which again, I have no problem with peanuts. It just, for some reason, I can't have peanut butter. Peanuts are fine. Like I love peanut M&Ms. Yeah, M&Ms. I was out at a remote one time with Melissa from the morning show on KX, and it was the trailer, big trailer show in Mississauga, and we were set up right in front of the food court. So right off to the side of us was the soft serve ice cream stand, and I was telling her, I was like, ice cream's my vice. Like I love it. I love it in any form. But if there's other forms I like more, I'll have those. But like, you know, like a hierarchy. Like I'll take the bottom before I'll take the top before I take the bottom. But if the bottom's all that's available, that's what I take. So I was going through, like, the ice cream was super expensive. Like I could go home and I could probably get like a really good cone for half the price, right? At Hewitt's. It was like winter time, so it probably not. I don't know if they were open, but like I could still go to the grocery store and get a lot more ice cream, a lot better ice cream for like the same, if not less money. However, we were packing up, and I was just standing around waiting for her to finish her last break, and I was standing right beside the booth, because that's where we had a whole bunch of our stuff. And the girl that was working the booth like taps me on the shoulder, and I turn around and she has this like big honking ice cream cone, and she goes, "You want this?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she goes, "It's just going in the trash. Like I just made the wrong one, so I you, if you want ice cream." And I was like yeah, absolutely. So she gives it to me, and I'm not eating it yet. I was like, I'm just gonna finish up what I was doing, and then I'll eat the ice cream, right? And this lady comes over, like older lady, and she starts like screaming at the girl. Again, Melissa's still recording her last break, like, and this woman's just going off on this poor girl who's just giving me a free ice cream. She's like, she screaming about like how all these other people paid for it and how she shouldn't have done that, and how like, cause, so what had happened? What had transpired was that a kid was like, I want chocolate. So then, or yeah, I want chocolate. So then she makes a swirl because, oops, right? You make mistakes. So what? And she hands it to him, and then he's like, immediately just goes, oh, I said chocolate. And she's like, sorry. So she takes it, taps me on the shoulder, gives it to me. That's all that happens. Like, it's a soft serve cone. You can see if someone like licks it. You can see if someone like eats it. And like, I live on a farm. I eat poop on a regular basis. Like, not like, yummy, but like, oops, that went in my mouth. Right? Like, again, I swim in the pond. That sort of stuff. I'm not afraid of a couple germs. Like, am I going to get AIDS from the ice cream? If that's what happens, then ice cream be my death, right? Oops, got AIDS from ice cream. But, so this lady's coming over and screaming and yelling, and like, and the girl comes over and she goes, I'll just make you a new one. And I go, I don't need ice cream. Like, I love ice cream, but like, I don't need ice cream. She goes, I'll just make you another one. And I'm like, oh, okay. And she's like, what do you want? I'm like, just give me the same thing, because I do choose swirl. So she makes me another one, and then like the lady goes away and whatever, and then we get to talking, and even Melissa's like, that crazy woman absolutely didn't say something else, and went back and re-recorded over it. But like, why like, I didn't even know what had fully happened until she had told me. And even then I was like, oh yeah, like that's, you could have drugged me with it and I would have been fine. Like, you don't know the stoops. You know, like, what would you do for a Klondike bar? I just said I'd get AIDS for a Klondike bar. I said I get AIDS for like soft serve ice cream. Same kind of thing, right? Like, I've never had a Klondike bar. It can't be better than soft serve. Again, I told you, like, soft serve comes above all the prepackaged stuff. Not by far, but like, if I'd get AIDS for a soft serve cone, what would I do for a Klondike bar, right? Like, you know, a Klondike bar is a Klondike bar. $20 is $20. So, like, oh my goodness, is that gonna be my new thing? Oh, that one's probably gonna bite me in the butt. I'd get AIDS for a soft serve cone. Oh, jeez. But we were saying, like, soft serve's the easiest thing to look at. So we were all kind of like just shooting the crap and like just complaining about this woman. So I finish up packing up, and you know, I just say thanks to her again. You know, don't let any old ladies yell at you. Like, that was just absolutely insane. But that's one of my ice cream stories. I'm sure I have so many more. But a lot of the time I just go, I got ice cream. You know, it's worth all the trauma that I had to go through. Let's just ignore all of it. It's like playing Tetris after a car crash, right? Like, or like after any sort of traumatic event. Like, it's supposed to make you like deal better with the PTSD. That's just me and ice cream. Like, if I have to go through some horrible thing to get ice cream, then so be it. Like, after doing hay, and it was just like a show, and I was told at the beginning that there was ice cream, and I was like, heck yeah. So afterwards, it was all said and done. We were standing around, just about to finish up, like 9:30 at night, and I was told there's ice cream. So I go around digging in the freezers looking for ice cream, and I come out with ice cream for everyone that didn't get one. And I was like, we were promised ice cream. I don't care how much you want it. I wanted ice cream. And you should be grateful that I actually gave these to you. So that's my kind of thing. Yeah, ice cream. Ice cream's my advice. I need to go get some more. I don't know if I'll have time today. They have it at my brother's soccer. Again, Oh, this week's quiet week. Oh my goodness. Anyway, soccer ice cream. I never bothered to go get it, but it is hard served. But like, I'm pretty sure it's not worth it. Like, I don't know if it's Hewitt's or not, but like, again, Hewitt's top, like S tier for me. On a waffle cone, like, absolutely beautiful. For me, what was I on about? Right, quiet week, soccer. So this week is quiet week at soccer, and quiet week just means that like it light cheering, and I get it. Like a lot of the time, parents get way too into it, and I'm not saying that I haven't tried to bribe a ref, or I haven't screamed at a ref that the child is flopping, and trying to stir up crap and like is faking being injured. I'm not saying I haven't done that, but like I don't think it's as big of a problem as you think, because like my brother's shoelace came undone, and he scored, which was great with an untied shoelace, but like they were running back to half, and my parents are yelling at him to like come over so they can tie his shoe back, and he's just kind of like staring at him weird, and it's only like 15 yards maybe, like it's not a long distance, and people aren't like yelling, it's not loud, it's not like a normal sports game, it's just like you're playing soccer on a field, and that's it. Like, you can hear people when they're yelling, but I guess the children can't, or at least they can't make sense of it, because he looked at us weird and just was like, pointed to his foot and was like, the shoe? And they're like, yeah, come, like we're waving him over and trying to get him to come over so they can get his shoe tied, because he's gonna either trip on it or some other kid's gonna step on it and he's gonna fall, and whatever. So he finally figures out that, oh, he should probably get his shoe tied, and he runs over to his bench. Like, they're playing a game, like an active game, and his coach stops him halfway and was like, here, I'll tie it for you here. The kid is doing better. Like, he got his first goal with a flat tire, and he did actually some really good slide tackles. But I guess you're not allowed to do that at U8 level soccer, which is stupid. They're not that coordinated, really. They follow the ball around like a nest of bees. So I guess trying to slide tackle the person with the ball will like take out two of your teammates as well, and like kids are gonna get hurt. But like, it was a clean tackle, like it was really nice. And the ref didn't like it. But you know, besides the point, I think they might have tied that game. I don't remember. I'm too disappointed in all of them right now to keep score, and I don't go as much as I probably should. I have nothing better to do with my life. But it's quiet week, so I don't know if I'm gonna go, because I go to yell at children, right? Like, you only play a team once, so if I yell at the kids, the parents can't get mad at me. Because once you start yelling at like a kid's soccer game, you're morally in the wrong, really. So, personally, I feel like I'm alright, you know? Yeah, so I don't know if I'm going. Hopefully I'll get this episode up. I think this is the earliest I've actually recorded one of the podcasts. Maybe the first one when I was trying to figure out what was going on. But even then. I say all that and then I spend half an hour putting a new washing machine in. So our washing machine was kind of broken. It was making this like really weird clicking noise. And if you ask pretty much any man, if there's a noise that is bothering them, they just ignore it until it goes away. And a lot of the time it doesn't go away, so then they just filter it out of their own mind. And then you just forget about it until it actually becomes like a visible problem. Because a lot of things whine. And the amount of times it just goes away if you just don't listen to it is a lot. So, you know, we just never really cared. We'd just walk away or shut the door, and then the wash would be done. So, finally, Mom got tired of it and told us to take it apart. So we take it apart and we think we find the problem. And then it's not the problem. And then the washing machine just doesn't drain or finish washing at all. And now it's a visible problem. So now we actually have to do something about it. But no one's a washing machine mechanic around here. They can fix cars and trailers and all that sort of stuff. Tractors, maybe. But like, washing machines? A little far away from anyone's reach of understanding. So we just got a new one. So we had to go and bring the old one, which is still full of water, because again, it wouldn't drain, and bring it out of the house and then put the new one in. And thank goodness putting the new one in is so much easier, because it wasn't full of water and extremely heavy. So, that's how it goes. It's a pretty constant thing. Like, even when you're driving and you're just like, oh, that's a weird sound. Let's just turn up the radio, and then it basically goes away. So there you go, right? Not really, but it depends on the sound. If it's just like a weird fan that's like kind of clicking, whatever. But if it's like your brakes squealing, you should probably get that checked out. If it's like a whole bunch of thudding, you should probably get that checked out. A lot of the time, the radio won't cover that sort of stuff up. So that's what I spent today doing. We were also waiting for the water truck to come, but whatever. I'll just sit here and record this. I'm actually getting close to an hour. I had nothing to talk about today, and look at that, I found something to talk about. Because the more and more I do nothing, the harder this becomes. And there's always the stuff that I shouldn't talk about. So, that sort of thing. So we'll just have to see what next week brings. What's coming up for next week? Oh, I can't seem to remember. Well. We're going to see. Just kind of take it as it comes and see what happens. So, how about this? So, I've been following this internet drama. And typically I don't care because it doesn't affect me at all whatsoever. It's just a whole bunch of people arguing on the internet, and most of the time it's just a waste of time. This is also one of those times, but it's kind of funny to see how badly this is going to end up for these people just because they won't say I'm sorry. It's pretty easy to go, oh, my bad, right? You would think, like, oh, I screwed up, I see the error of my ways. I was maybe not entirely wrong, but I made a mistake and I said something I shouldn't have. Do you know how easy it is to just say that and then move on and that's it? Easy. So easy. If I mess up and if I say something that I shouldn't on here, I would go on and apologize. I would probably say something pretty quickly after. Like, I wouldn't even probably wait till next week to say, oops, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that and I'm wrong. Because, I mean, as an internet influencer, I'm not saying that I technically am. I'm not saying that I am. But as an influencer online, you have a higher metric of you have to be non-defamatory. Like, you are held to a higher standard because you have an audience. Now, I don't have much of an audience. I think I'm in double digits, which, hey, let's go. Wow. But these people who are getting tens of thousands of live viewers on Twitch are saying absolutely insane things. I don't suggest you watch anyone on any side of that. I'm sure you have better things to do than to watch Twitch live streams. But I've been watching, like, other content creators that, like, take a pretty central view. There isn't a central. So what's going on is that there's one guy on Twitch. He gets hundreds of thousands of viewers. He's my dad's age. He's 45. And he's going on about how the Houthis are good people, and he had like a legitimate terrorist on his stream, like video calling and doing an interview and that sort of stuff, and they were like sending him hearts, and I'm pretty sure he sends the money as well, because the terrorist recently posted a photo of him and one of the other guys that they were doing the interview or the podcast or just the stream with. Again, I don't know too much about it. It's not a big thing, but the whole point is that, like, you can't do that. Like, you're not allowed to promote terrorism on Twitch. Really, you shouldn't be saying good things about terrorists at all, because they're bad people. Like, regardless of what they're fighting for, whether you agree with them or not, if they're being marketed as terrorists, like, you have to understand that these are the same people that they're like, oh, you know, I'm not saying pro-Palestine's bad. I'm saying that, hey, the people that are fighting, the rebels and the terrorists and that sort of thing, they're not fighting under uniform. They're not fighting under that sort of thing. So they have forfeited their right to the Geneva Conventions. And a lot of people don't seem to realize that. That you do have to fight in uniform to be offered the same protections under the Geneva Convention, whether you've signed it or not. So that's kind of how that goes. And they're not. So, one, like, full out wrong, however anyone thinks about it. Two, these are the same people that bomb buildings. These are the same people that bomb music festivals. These are the same people that bomb crowds and stuff to try and get their message across. That's not the way to do it. It's like, I don't even think the IRA did anything against civilians. I think it was all against the Britain occupation of Ireland. But I don't know too much about that. I don't know too much about what's happening in the Middle East either. But I'm just saying, like, these people are terrorists, and what they're doing is bad, even if you agree with their whole sentiment. Like, if you agreed with the IRA's sentiment of, like, a free Ireland, or like a complete Ireland, or are they the Protestant Ireland, like, kick out all the Catholics? I don't know what they are. But if you agree with that sentiment, but then you still go, hey, we probably shouldn't be car bombing and killing a whole bunch of people, that's probably a bad thing. Great. And that's what a lot of people think. A lot of people are going, yes, I think Palestine should be free, but I don't like all the war and all that sort of stuff and the bad things that they're doing to civilians and they're doing to other people. Great. That's good. What he's saying is that people deserved it. He has said America deserved 9/11, which was a insane thing to say. He also has a whole bunch of people, like, they've been described as orbiters, or as groupies that also stream either right before or right after him. And what they do is they say all the same stuff, because then he has them on and he promotes them and they get more people, and they get technically more money. And all the people that are going, hey, I understand what you're saying, but I don't think the terrorists are good people. And then they get, like, demolished on Twitter, and then they get demolished on streams. There are so many stream clips of them going back and forth at each other because they won't just talk to each other. And this Hassan guy, who is 45 years old again, won't go, oh, okay, so you agree with some of what I say, but not all of it. Okay, that's okay. We can agree on the stuff that we agree about. But no, you have to agree with every single thing he says, and a lot of it's wrong. He said so many things about so many people, so many different insane allegations. One of the best ones, I think, in my opinion, is his orbiters all got sued for copyright infringement by one of his big enemies. So a lawyer was going through the lawsuits because they are legal documents and they're public documents. So he was going through it and explaining it to people and basically saying, yeah, they're screwed. They sat there the entire time and did nothing and watched the entire works in full the second that they were released. It's a cut and dry case. Like, they're screwed. So then this Hassan guy goes after the lawyer, and he's like, he's a fake lawyer. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He does all these like awful things with women, and he goes over to foreign countries and just sleeps around. And the guy was like, one, I have a law degree that makes me a lawyer. I'm also a practicing and like bar tested attorney, which you need to be an attorney. You need to pass the bar exam in the state that you're practicing in. That's the word. So not only am I a lawyer, a real lawyer from the University of Florida, but I'm also a attorney in the state of Florida. So you're wrong on both fronts. If you say it again, I'll sue you for defamation, because now you know. So he's actually like starting to fight with real lawyers here, and those are the last people you want to like start a fight with. And the second thing the lawyer said is that once you go after me as a person, and once you start making personal attacks, you've basically told me you've lost, because you're not giving me any legal argument against what I'm saying. So not only are you saying I'm right, but you're also saying that you have such a poor understanding of what's going on that you have to attack me. And once I realized that, it made a lot more sense about other arguments have been in the past, where people start attacking me instead of attacking my argument. Because you can disagree with me all you'd like. You are entitled to I say this every single time, but you are entitled to your opinion, and I'm entitled to mine. You don't have to agree with mine, and I don't have to agree with yours, but you have no right to get angry at me for not accepting your opinion. We can just move on and understand that we don't agree with each other. That's it. That's all that has to happen. But a lot of people think that you have to agree with every single thing you say. But that's not how the world works. And this is why this democracy system is supposed to work. Because you're supposed to find what you agree with the most, and what you can not, what you can disagree with like the least, right? But then they get into office and they screw everything up. So that's how that works. And that's why it's failing right now, because people don't care about you. But like the amount of times I've been in an argument and someone starts attacking me instead of attacking my argument, it makes me upset, because now we're not arguing, now we're fighting. And that because I like to have a debate. I like to see other people's opinions, and I like to talk to people about hard-hitting stuff, because it gives me another viewpoint. It gives me something to bounce back on. If I start talking to someone and saying, hey, I think I like XYZ political candidate a little bit more, and then they start calling me a Nazi, they start calling me a fascist, they start calling me all these awful things because I said I tend to agree with a person a little bit more. And instead of saying, why would you do that, or I think I agree with this person more because of this reason, absolutely, that would be amazing to talk to you about that. But once you start disregarding my opinion just because I have it, once you start disregarding me, and once you start disrespecting me based on my opinion, that's where everything kind of falls apart, and it's hard to go back to beforehand when we actually almost agreed on something. Well, maybe not agreed, but we're able to have a conversation about it, and we're able to debate well, and we were able to calmly talk about our opinions and what it means to us and why we think the things we do. Because I think because everyone is so able to share their opinions online, and people are so able to shoot down those opinions, people want to have the most correct opinion, because they don't want to fight, because immediately someone will go and start saying bad things about you because of your opinion, instead of saying bad things about your opinion, which is what I want. I want to break down my opinion. And I want you to try and build yours up. And I'll do the same thing to you. And that's how we understand each other more. No, I'm not saying that everyone should agree on everything all the time. That's not how this works. What I am saying is that you need to fight less about it. And you just need to have a good conversation. And a lot of people don't understand that. And that's why all this drama is happening. Because people won't have these crazy opinions. And so there's basically two sides. There's the people that agree with Hassan, and there's the people that don't. And the people that don't are getting banned for things that could be against Twitch's terms of service. But then you look at Hassan and his side, and okay, so one streamer got banned for calling a fat girl fat. It was objectively fact, but sure, it could be hateful and hurtful language. Hassan, doxed a viewer wrongly, called that wrong guy a skinny B word, and threatened him with what appeared to be a weapon. It doesn't matter if it was or if it wasn't a weapon. What matters is it appeared to be. Because if you walk into a bank and you hold something in your jacket, you could even just like not have a print of a weapon, and you say, hey, I have a gun, give me all the money. They're going to give you the money. Technically, they're going to give you all the money anyways, but you're still going to catch a case of like aggravated assault with like a weapon, or probably not assault, sorry, or robbery with a weapon or something like that, because it was under the assumption that you had a weapon, and it was a weapon. Because you don't want to be like, hey, I think that gun you have is fake, and then they test it and you're left with a hole in your body that shouldn't be there. Maybe an exit hole, who knows. But like I have a an air gun, CO2 powered, and it looks just like a Glock. So you need to be careful on where you take it and where you point it and everything, because it looks like a Glock. Now, he said his was an air rifle, or an air pistol as well. I don't think it was, because of how it moved. It moved exactly like a real Glock. He didn't take the magazine out of it or anything, but when you push the barrel back on a Glock and it's empty, it will lock back. And when it locks back, the barrel actually tilts down to try and help feed another round. So why would an air rifle do that? There's no point for it to. Like the one I have here, again, is actually manufactured by Glock. It is a CO2 powered pistol. And if you just look at it, yes, it looks like a real gun. But if you were to try and manipulate it like a real gun, it would just come apart in your hands because the slide doesn't actually move. So when he has the slide cocked back and he is holding it with his finger off the trigger, and he's waving it around like a unloaded gun, because again, with the air rifles, there's a lot more weight right in the right in the bottom of the handle, because that's where the CO2 and stuff is. So it's a lot heavier down there. With an unloaded gun, it's a lot lighter because the base is all polymer on a Glock. So the air rifles are a little bit heavier because they're a little bit more metal to accommodate for the CO2 and that sort of stuff. So I think it was a real gun. He keeps saying it wasn't, but he didn't get up and go get it again the next stream to show everyone that it wasn't. So I'm going to be under the assumption that it was real. And you shouldn't be doing that. One, he was pretty much threatening him with a gun as well. Going like, oh, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And waving around a gun. I would assume that's a threat with a weapon. I assume if someone was waving around a gun in front of tens of thousands of people and saying, "What are you going to do about it?" I would say, I think that's a threat. And I think Twitch should do something about it, because at some point the advertisers are going to pull out, and then it's going to leave them with even less money. And one person is going to ruin the entire platform. And it already kind of is. YouTube has started streaming a lot more now. There's also sites called Kick and I think Rumble are also kind of big in that space as well, but they have less of a terms of service, which is what TOS is. So I think that's what I think is going to pop up. I don't watch streams. I have better things to do with my time than to watch someone else watch something. But if it floats your boat, then go for it, because again, you're entitled to your opinion, and that is your opinion. If you like that, if you like to hang out, because I've heard people like put it on at work, so then it's like, oh, if I'm just like riding around in a truck all day, or it sounds like someone is there talking to me, and maybe if I'm stopped, I can kind of chit chat with them, or I can hear them chit chat with other people and that sort of thing. And I also like the personality. Great, wonderful, that is your thing. I just don't think I want to watch the same guy for 8-9 hours a day, and then because this Hassan guy just sits there and watches CNN. He doesn't add his own like thing to it. He doesn't break it down. He just goes, "Oh wow, that's crazy." My favorite clip of him is when he saw Arma 3 footage. Arma 3 is a pretty old computer game. It had great graphics and people have modded it really well. I play it myself, so like I know the game, and he saw some footage of a plane flying like no one ever would, because again, it's a video game. It doesn't matter if you die in it. And like anti-air tracers getting shot up at it. He's like, "Oh, this is awesome! Like, it's getting lit up. They're taking back their area." And like someone in the chat goes like, "Dude, this is fake. Like you're just selling this like it's real. Like you should be able to tell." And he also confused the sun with a missile once. It had like the smoke lines up into the sun, and he's like, "Oh, is it coming right at him? Oh my goodness, am I gonna watch someone get blown up?" Like, no. How would they get the footage? Like, zero critical thinking, really. But I don't understand why all these people are sharing their politics, because I think the worst thing to do is to share politics over really any sort of platform, because it doesn't give you an opportunity to break it down, or for me to get me to explain things more, or to try and break down my argument, because I think politics should be a debate, should always be a debate. I should not just be telling you how to think, because that's not how this works. And that's what I think about politics, especially on really any sort of streaming service. So even on this, like, technically, yes, me saying, "Hey, you should have your own thoughts," is me talking about politics. But it's specifically saying, like, do your own research. Don't just listen to some idiot. Like when the elections were happening, I specifically said on my show at school, like, "Hey, do your own research. Don't listen to what anyone says here. Don't listen to what anyone says on the internet. Don't listen to what anyone says on the TV. Look it up yourself. Look for different sources. Don't just pick one and go with it. Do your own research." And that's my main thing. I'm going to keep saying it, because no matter what, people are stupid and they just believe the first thing they read, and that's it. And so that's why I try not to get into it too much. But that's just me, right? Alright, I'm going to call it there. Hopefully get this up before 4 o'clock. So thank you so much. I think you can even leave a review either on like Apple, maybe Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. See if there's a review option. Leave me a review. That would be great. I'd love to know what you think about it. You can always reach out to me over on Instagram as well at mitch.fm, mitch.dotfm. You can also head on over to my website, mitch.fm.ca, and you can check me out there with all my socials, and of course a link to all the different podcast websites as well if you'd like to share it. And of course there's always the YouTube comment section. Be sure to follow for more Karma's Mitch every single Monday. And don't forget, what goes around will come around with interest. Again, I've been Mitch. Thank you so much for listening.